Hello, Anons and Anonettes. Today I have more garbage to peddle to you from my small desk in my little corner of Paradise. So first we've got the only new game I bought last month. I know you're thinking, Zacho, what's going on? The videos are with less games being bought, there's less money going into the air game industry that's coming out of your wallet. And I have to apologize. It's just, there's last month nothing super great on the menu. And I like to buy things, even if it's not super interesting looking, just to just to get involved and and keep up with what everyone's playing at the time. But things got ahead of me, and it's been difficult to the fuck am I saying? Anyway, Secret Descent is the new game. This is, and this is a half, well, they call it a half price game or a small price game. You don't expect the 30-hour experience that you might get from a regular full box game. And this is, it's a cheaper price point. Anywhere from, low end 4,000 yen to the 7,000 yen. Which this because it included all the bonuses, extras, etc., etc. So this was actually on the higher end for a half price game. But um and so what's it about? I don't know. Azarashi Soft, you might know them from their Amakano series. I know I talked about it before. Um but I don't think they've ever drawn girls with boobs like this before. It's somewhat interesting to have something like this come out of Azarashi Soft. So let's just get right in and explore, right? Wee, 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 wee. First, the game itself, right? Can't get anywhere without the game. This is the cover art, um, and this is actually I got this from Melon Books. This is the special limited edition cover art where she's not wearing a bra. In the original cover art, she is wearing a bra, but you can pay a little extra, get some little goodies for your trouble, and get a different cover art for the game. So we'll get into what's actually going on in this little thing. So we've got Asahina Shizuku. Asahina Shizuku, and I think you're in like an art club together or something or whatever. Um, and that's how it goes. Here's the game. Here's the disc. You got the Getsuyobi no Tawa blue scale game disc. And inside we've got a code for the limited contents, which I'm not going to show you that code because fuck you guys. But you can see some of the characters, like the girl from the one remake. Um, and they got some Amakano girls and whatever and whatnot. So that's that. And then we had the little board that came with the I don't know what you call this, Takioroshi, or is it Takioroshi? Yeah, it looks like that. So there's Asahina, um, looking happy, smiling and such. And then we've got, so what are the other extras that you got for your trouble? I think what really brought the price up for this game was the acrylic figure, which is got some size on it. This is what, a good few. I mean, about the size of your hand, right? Um, so just put this on your desk while you're playing the game, but she's really there with you. You can even talk to her, but she won't respond, probably. And then the clear file, you know, this is, the gimme. You're not gonna get away without the clear file. Oh, this is the clear file for Happy Weekend, which was another game that came out last month that I passed on because even if you don't buy it on release day, it's gonna come. Softmap's gonna have a sale for it at the end of the year, with all their other extra stock. You're gonna get it for super cheap. You're gonna get it for half off. So, if it's not something that you need the tapestry for, or whatever, pass up on it, and just wait for the sales, right? So here's Hinata Mizugame from Happy Weekend, and you can check that game out too if you're interested in video games. I don't know how you would be. So what else do we have for you? So we've got I'm gonna just move on into the next thing I've got prepared for you all because one half price game for the entire video. It's like what the hell? Gotta have something interesting. And boy, do I have at least a little bit interesting uh talking piece for you guys. The original K-On, that's a lie. But Buraban. What the hell is Buraban? You can tell by the cover art. This is not something that came out this year or last year or even the last 10 years. Buraban is the first game. So I guess what makes it notable is it's the first game by the uh, mega famous, well recognized. If you're a Moege player, this is your bread and butter. Yuzu Soft, Yuzu Kids, and they have in very well, I guess in recent years become the go-to face of Moe in the eroge industry. You've got Tenshi Soul Soul and Riddle Joker is like their Meisaku or they're all the fans to the fans every game is great. It's not like you wouldn't read this and be like, oh, this is the next Demon Bane Muramasa. But if you're a Moe player and you're like it's exactly what you are looking for. It doesn't push doesn't push anyone. It doesn't push the limits of. It doesn't do anything new, but it does what it does very very well. Or they do every time they release a game. And Buraban is the first game that they ever released. That really got the ball rolling. And so what the hell is Buraban? Buraban is about you might be able to imagine, it's about a band. I want to say brass band, but they've got a clarinet in it. I don't and they have percussion. But you can see the girls in the back and the instruments they play, and it's just a good classic music school life eroge. I mean, really nothing more that you can ask for. It does everything you need it to do. Here's the manual. Love one of these, right? Can't get enough of the manual. And it's really they've got their own design to it. You can see that the headers are the taken from musical score. So it's you just move. I mean, this is what you in the good old days. You buy an eroge at the whatever soft map in Akihabara, and you're so excited to play it. So you open up the box before you even get on the train home, and you're reading the manual and your seat on the subway, and everyone's looking at you like, does that guy have a porn game on his lap, and is he reading through the manual? And are those nipples on the cover of this book that this guy's reading in the middle of the train? And the girls in the subway start like moving away from you, and that actually doesn't happen. I've been on packed subways where old men take out their phones and just watch straight up porn, and no one really. I mean, like they look at it and you can see that's like disgust in their eyes, but no one actually does anything. I guess it's like a given that old men will look up porn in front of you. And here's and they even got the lyrics for the theme song. How cute, right? And here's the manual's full cover art. Right? All right. And what else do we have in here? This all is their postcard. So you can say, hey, I loved your game. I thought that the art was awesome and the scenario was really cool and the music was all right, I guess, and the UI was whatever garbage. And you can send that to Ubisoft's headquarters, and they'll probably throw it out like garbage, or even if they even pick it up. And here's the disc. Boom. Burabang. Ta-da! So that's, a little bit of Arrowgate history that, I probably, I mean, certainly I'm sure a lot of people are familiar with it, but I don't know how many people have actually taken the time to play Burabang, especially if they weren't into Arrowgate 20 years ago, around the time when this was released, because, there's so many other, I mean, if you're going to get into Ubisoft, they say, get in through whatever, Riddle Joker, or, the it's not their biggest game at all, or even a big game. But so that now I'll talk about, at least, I guess. Okay, I guess I got a little time. We can talk about something interesting, which is Bug Bug. Say the name Bug Bug. Bug Bug. This is an actually. So you're wondering, how Zako, how do how are you so up to date with your Aerogay, and where do you get all your information about what's going on in the industry? Well, I'll tell you, it's not really Bug Bug, actually. If I'm being honest, it's 5chan. But Bug Bug isn't a great place or a great magazine. That comes with so much information about what's hip and happening in the aero game industry. So I think if you really want to keep up with the latest and greatest, it's something that you really can't pass up. And I, of course, am buying it every month. So what are the what are the newest or what are the latest topics in Aerogate? I'm not sure. I'm sure if you haven't been following the latest topics in Aerogate, I'll just give you a brief overview. First of all, we have Amokano 3. Obviously, they Azashi Soft, as I mentioned before, and so they must have shelled out a pretty penny for the whole inside cover, because Amokano 3, this is guaranteed to sell millions of units on arrival. It won't, but this is one of the of the current series. There's not many series still alive in the Aerogate industry these days, but of the series still alive, Amokano 3 has got to be one of the headliners. Everyone knows it. I'm sure everyone's played it. Just some wonderful, wonderful material. Simple, lovey-dovey material. And now you get your table of contents. Just like New Type, if you've looked at that, full of ads, but got information on everything, everywhere, all at once. So here we've got the Ubisoft news that everyone's been talking about recently. We've got Limelight Lemon. What was that again? Limelight Lemonade Jam, which is Ubisoft's new release, or it's not going to release until September, along with Amokano 3. But this is their new game, and it's their return to school band. Their first return to school band since Burabang, which I just showed you guys. So they've this is also another highly anticipated. People have already been talking about on 5chan about how this September is going to be a doozy on the wallet. This is going to be something, because I looked at SoftMap for the pre-orders for this, and they're already asking for 30,000 yen, because it's not even a Dakimakura extra. It's like they're giving you a million extra CDs and figures and T-shirts and tapestries. So if you're gonna pick this up along with Amakano 3, because you can't get you're gonna pick them both up, obviously. That's expect to pay maybe 50,000 yen just in September, and that's just for 2 games. So in here they've got some more art of the characters. What else do we have these days? Oh, and then we've got Purple Software's next. I saw this just as I was in Softmap the other day. Purple Software. If you've seen some of my other videos, I bought their Moon Ghost and uh, it was some other game, I guess. But they're known for being a little heavy, or a little heady, and intelligent story writing. A little bit more deep on the not just lovey-dovey romance, but something going on behind the scenes. And this game, what was it? Nando Kano Hajimemashite, or something like that. What was the name? Well, Nandome Kano Hajimemashite. Yeah, so still, don't really know much about this. I haven't looked into it much yet, but it looks like it's going to be a little interesting. And then you got your new Kige and your Miko and your Gal's Fiction. Actually, this one looks somewhat interesting. It's a cross-dressing material. Who knows, what it's going to be like. I'm not sure. I haven't decided if I'm going to pick this one up on release date, only because it's this month and I'm already putting what, almost 50,000 yen down just on the Subahibi 15th anniversary box, only for that money to basically go into the garbage in 5 years when they release the Subahibi 20th anniversary box, just like they did 5 years ago for the 10th anniversary box. So this is something that's going on in the world today. And some other games. Deep One, Desecration. This is a sequel to Deep One, which came out many years ago, and there was supposed to be another episode, and nothing ever came of it. But after a few years, they finally announced a release date for the new game. And here's but this one's what's their name? The Ensemble. Ensemble's got a new game, Yadorishi Otome no Shikai to Mahou. And this is something where, what is it? They did Kyoko no Mariage, which I thought was really, really good, and it's the same. You might be able to recognize from that video. It's the same artist for this game. The scenario rate is different, so this one's going to be a lot less uh, deep in the philosophical and moving territory. But if you like the art for that game, expect more of that great stuff in Yadorishi. So I think this is talking about Amakano 3. Yeah, so here's the Navi for Amakano 3. You got a lot of art of the girls, and get to know them a little better. Some remakes, some other random stuff, Unravel Trigger. I think they've stopped doing it. They used to give you DVDs. That's what a shame that they don't know, doesn't know if they're doing it anymore. But they used to give you DVDs, that they come right here in the middle of the magazine, and you would cut them out and put them in, and they would actually come with, oh, here we go, here's the DVD. You cut this out, put it in, and it'll come with, a few hours of playtime through some of the games, as well as some sample scenes. Just give you a whole bunch of information about what's going on in Eroge world today. So this video's gotten a little long, so I just wanted to cover a lot of Eroge topics because I had some time and whatever.